Gossip Talk Shows family. It's Nomsa here at Gossip Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, I'm with Carol Ann Cooper. How are you, Carol Ann?
Very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
So our topic today is becoming visible, what it means and why it matters in a relationship. Visibility in relationship refers to the act of being seen, heard understood by your spouse. Is about showing your true self, including your thoughts, feelings, your true
You're
self,
fading in and out again, Nomsa. I don't know what it is with your mic.
including your true self, feelings and needs, and having these acknowledged and valued by other person is the critical component how a relationship is able to work. So, Carol, and I know you chose this topic. Would you like to share with our audience what was the motivation behind this,
Yes,
behind the
certainly.
topic?
I was going through some old notes from previous topics that we've done, and in February 2022, we actually looked at how to become more visible, and how can a company improve visibility. So it was more in the business setting and sort of personal setting. And I just thought, how would that relate to in a relationship? Because very often you can feel invisible, you can feel as if you're not seen or heard within a relationship. And obviously that can weaken that bond or that connection with the relationship. So I thought it might be a good idea to explore, you know, what it is, and sort of just what is visibility. Perhaps we could define it first, what it is in a relationship, and then explore other areas about how why it matters, and some strategies that people could have. So that's where it all came from. And these topics have an overlap, don't they? And so to be
Yeah.
able to explore it within the context of a relationship, because sometimes, very often one person, if not both of them, may feel unseen or unheard or invisible in some way. So what makes it that way? So have you ever sort of found that within the couples that you've worked with or with people searching for relationships? Have they ever sort of said that to you, that they felt invisible?
I think almost like 100%. The people that I talk to, they feel that they are invisible, and I think it's very, very important. Like when you feel like, even sometimes, like when they go on the dating side, they will tell you that, Nomsa, I just feel like I don't have to. I just feel like my existence does not exist because these men are looking, it's mostly women that are complaining that women are looking for younger women. Um, but I think it's very, very important when we are in a relationship, like Carol Ann was saying, to be authentic and understanding the power of communication. When we talk about authenticity, we talk about being genuine in your interaction with your spouse and
Mm.
expressing yourself clearly and openly. And I think it is very, very, very important. Like when I speak to my clients, they always say, Nomsa, I just need to meet this guy, this woman that is genuine, that is authentic. What is authentic anyway? Carol Ann,
A
what is
great question.
authentic?
What is authentic?
Yeah.
Um, it being authentic. That's a term that confused me when I used to hear it at this personal development company called Landmark. They were always talking about authenticity, being authentic or being inauthentic, and it used to rattle around in my head. What do they mean? And I started to grasp it, and it's being authentic is actually being open and honest about what you're feeling, what you're thinking. And because very often somebody can share something with someone, but actually something's going on in the background. They're not really truly sharing what is actually going on. They're giving a version that maybe they think the other person wants to hear. That's not being authentic. That's being inauthentic, because you're not being true to what you're thinking, what your truth is, what you actually really are saying or want to share. So that for me is what I think authenticity means. It's not saying one thing but thinking another. It's actually what you're thinking and is what you're saying. So it is being open, it's being honest, and it's being vulnerable. It's sharing your emotions and what is going on for you. So what does authenticity mean to you, Namsa? You're muted.
I think for me, when we talk about authenticity, is just it's the real you, your true self. Because there are some people, when you meet them, they pretend to be something that they are not. And then a few months later, that their true self shows up. And then the guy will be like, this is not the person that I met. And the woman will be like, this is not the guy that I met. Where is that guy that I met? Because people, they're trying to pretend to be something that they're not. So I think it's very, very important to be true to yourself, even when you're dating somebody. Like to be visible, it means I'm just gonna show up for me, even if the real me you don't like it. You're gonna have to get to know the real me, or I'm just gonna have to. As long we are not hurting anybody, there are some people that say I'm speaking my mind, I'm showing up for me, but they're hurting other people's feelings. But if you show up for you and being humbled and being vulnerable and just being true to yourself, it means sometimes you might have to lose friends, or sometimes you might have to lose family members. It's just by being you, not doing anything. Because what I've realized in this world, people don't like the real you. They like the fake you. When you agree to everything, that means you are being nice. Honestly, I don't know, Carol, and even in
That
relationship as well.
yeah, and that's interesting. People like the fake you, not the real you.
No.
So does that mean that it's the fake you that you've been showing to them, and that's what people are drawn towards, and that's what you're allowing yourself to attract? Because it's remembering that we are creator of our world, and so it's what you put out is what you get back and what you attract. So that real you is in some way hiding and not allowing people to see the real you and like the real you. Because my question would then be, do you like the real you? If people are liking the fake you and not the real you, do you like the real you? And that's a question to really look at. Because if you don't, then that doesn't give permission for other people to. And therefore you won't show up. And people that like you for who you are will stay away. So that's something to think about, and again, it comes down to listen to the words that what you're saying. If you find yourself saying people like the fake me and not the real me, it's like, okay, let's hear that. There's something here. Do I really want this to be how, my life to be this way? And if the answer is yes, fine, carry on. But if the answer is actually no, then stop and just take a look. Do I like the real me? Just stop and ask that question of yourself. And, what do these people give you that like the fake you? Are they really truly who you want in your life? And so it's a great, the words elude me. It's something great to just sit and ponder over and just make a decision. and it makes some changes. But it first comes down to making sure you like yourself. And something you said about that pretending what they're not. And so very often people say, where's that guy I first met? Where's that girl I first met? And maybe that's what happens within a relationship, within a marriage, because maybe you show up as who you think that person wants you to be, and you get married and you haven't really shown your true self. And once your true self starts to emerge because you start to get to know your true self, or you maybe think, well, actually, that fake me starts to fall away, or it's an effort to keep that mask there. That's where the relationship can then fall apart, because the partner is going, well, where's the person I first married? And actually, who they married was not who you really were or are. So again, if your partnership or your marriage is falling apart, and these questions and points are coming up, just stop and say, well, who is it I thought I married? And why are they not showing up that way anymore? Was this really the true person? And do you want to get to know the true person? Because if you do, then maybe your marriage has got some legs in it. If not, then be open and honest and say, hang on, this hasn't got any more legs in it, you know? What do you think, Nonsa?
Agree with you, Carol, and I 100% agree with you. Adibob is saying, blessed Tuesday, friend. Say hello, how are you? Originally, it's the fastest means for people's identity for relationship management. Fake life is part of relationship based on the pride of any of the partners' ideology. Many fake ladies based on information downloaded from the close friend or related to the many involved. So I don't know. I think we try to fake things because we want people to like us. We try so hard when we meet people, we try so hard to pretend to trying to fit in with the conversation because we want to impress the wrong way. And when we are looking for love, we forget that what we said we were looking for in the beginning. And when we meet this guy that looks so impressive, and we want our conversation to go along with what they're saying, so we can actually fit in we can fall in love and fit in. But at the same time, being you, it means just do you, unapologetic. Me and my spouse knows that I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. If he likes it, he likes it, but I will never ever pretend, because at the end of the day, it's frustrating living a life that is not you. Character, if that is not you, or the things that you do are not you, is just so frustrating in a relationship. I just prefer to be the real me that is vulnerable, the real me that whatever I like, I put it out there. And I don't like control anybody. I just give freedom to everybody. And I think that is important. At times, fake life won't work in relationship other than secret has been exposed, and a dialogue of why do you fake me bring solution for a renewal of mindset. What do you think about this, Carol Ann?
Sorry, I didn't quite get all of that.
Um, it says at times a fake life work in a relationship after the secret has been exposed, and a dialogue of why do you fake me bring solution for a renewal of mindset. Does fake life work in a relationship?
Fake life?
Like fake me, the fake person, when somebody fakes who they are.
No, it doesn't work. It might appear to work for a period of time, but it gets exhausting to hold up that facade, and cracks will start to appear. And the relationship will start to break down because it's hard work to hold it together. And something starts to shift. And it really is important that if you want to be visible, because you may find yourself going, but I wish they knew the real me. They don't know me. They don't know who I am. They don't really know what I want. And what you end up getting a presence or attention in ways that you actually don't really want, but that fake you has elicited that. But inside you, you're going, this ain't right. This don't feel comfortable. This isn't really what I want. And so that's where you then start to become unseen and feel unheard, and you're invisible because you've got this facade. So to become visible, you actually need to express what is going on for you and express those fears that, well, actually, I realize I'm putting on a mask and I'm afraid, I'm frightened that if you see the real me, you won't want to know me. You know, that's being authentic. That's making yourself visible. It's being vulnerable, but it's also having set a boundary or set some guidelines in terms of when you're having a conversation, making sure that there is no judgment, because it's allowing each other to be safe, to be open, because where there's judgment, there'll be shut down. When you feel judged, you go, okay, I was right. I shouldn't show my true face, you know, I shouldn't show my true colors because I'll get judged. And so therefore you shut down again, become even more invisible. So it's really being able to make that stand and say, look, I'd like you to listen to me. Make that request. I'd like to be listened without judgment, without criticism, or, you know, just listen. And it's having that courage to make that stand and say, please just listen. Say what it is you want, what it is you need. But you've got to know that in the first place. If you don't know that, then you can't actually express it. So you really got to get to know what it is that you want, know what's causing that inside, and then find the courage to speak out. But if you've got fears of, you know, sometimes you go into a relationship, you put this mask on because you're frightened that if I don't go into this relationship, I'll never find a relationship. I'll be left on the shelf. I'll be left out, like you were saying, Namsa, feeling left out of the conversation. You know, all your friends are married. I've got to get married. So it's that fears are driving it. To be visible, you need to express and acknowledge those fears and seek help in actually doing that. If you find that that's hard and you haven't got the courage to do it, then that's what we're here for, isn't it, Namsa? You know, you've got.
What we are here for. I like it, Carol, and when you say sometimes the people they can feel that they're being judged. It's very, very important when you speak to somebody. Make sure that you listen to their needs and listen to their desires without going into a place of judgment. Because when you go into a place of judgment, that person, they'll feel like there is no point in me communicating with you because you just gonna judge me anyway. So I got to this problem where when I'm talking to people, if I, by any way that I realize that they have judged me, I just I don't say anything. I let them go along with their judgment and stuff. And knowing that, because I know that whatever the judgment they have come to conclusion, that is not me. And at the same time, I just live my life, continue living my life. But in a relationship, it is very, very, very important to actually never ever fake the real you, because when you fake the real you, that means that person has not accepted you for you. And that means like you feel that if that person sees the real you, they are not going to accept you. So what's the point of being in that relationship? So there is no point. For me, I just see people like when it comes to relationship, and people they make this judgment like this one shouldn't do this one shouldn't do this. And I'm like, sometimes the people they don't know. Like I was giving my spouse advice once, and I said to her sometime to him, I said, sometimes you guys may see someone in a relationship, and then you judge that relationship, that person should be this, it should be that. But what if that person they are afraid of opening up and telling you what they are going through? But you guys are coming into a place of judgment and making a decision like sometimes but sometimes me I know what's going on. Sometimes I the Holy Spirit will show me what is going on, and I hear people going on and on and on. I'm like, only if they knew the truth they wouldn't be going into a place of judgment, because sometimes you may find that that person truly needs you, and then you're going into a place of judgment. So it's important to communicate in a relationship, to be vulnerable, like Carol Ann said, to be vulnerable, and also show up for you. Don't fake it. I know they say in business, fake it till you make it, but don't fake it, because if you fake it, you get comfortable. Just be you. Me, I just believe in the power of authenticity. Sometimes people don't like the true you, because when you are being you, speaking the truth and being true to yourself, people don't like it. So sometimes I seen people when I started my relationship with my spouse, they get to know me, they get to know me and the real me. And the moment I keep showing up, people like I'm doing things, people don't like it. Like if I'm celebrating something and I'm choosing exactly the theme that I want, where I need to be, people don't like it. So sometimes never ever do things to please anybody, even if it is your spouse. If somebody loves you, they love you for you. That's my belief, Carol Ann. I don't know. What do you believe?
Well, yeah, I believe that too. And I'm just wondering if you've got some suggestions for people that find that, what you were saying, it's my mind has gone blank. You were saying it, and I've got the picture in my head about
Okay, for
they
me,
make their judgments, and how can people actually deal with that? People judging them and making judgments about them, and if they don't know how to deal with that, because we're saying it's not something that you should put up with.
For
But
me,
how
yeah,
can they deal with it?
I think it all comes down to you. Is the inner you.
Mm-hmm.
What is making you judging people without getting to know them? It's like where I live, I know where we like in the area where I am, where in the group, I see people hacking like they are eating each other. They want to eat each other. They want to do this when they are communicating. But when they're telling each other off, I'm like, but that's not who they are. That's not who this person is. When I'm talking to them, to me, they're nice to me. They're like, I think how you show up for yourself is how your spouse is gonna see you. Is always work on yourself.
Mm.
I listen to you, Carol, and like every time when I needed some advice, I'm looking for some answers. I ask you a question, but you don't give me no answer. Like you don't give me nothing. All you tell me is search within you. So I did all that. I've been doing all that is searching within me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I have a problem or when I'm doing something, I go back to me first. I search within me. Is there anything that is making me feel this way? Or is there anything within me that is showing up this way? Or is it just this person? And sometimes I find that it's within me. Then I have to deal with me, Nomsa, first before I can go to that person, because I know it's me that is putting the judgment. There must be experiences in my heart.
And
So
once you go inside and
yeah,
find that and deal with it, what happens then to that?
you find the breakthrough. You find that you're no longer really caring about what people say, what people think. You find that you unblock your true self, meaning there's freedom within you. And when somebody speak, you don't speak arrogant. Your vulnerability shows up for you. And you're like, I'm here for you. If you need me, I'm here for you.
There's a strength, isn't there?
Yeah.
That comes and people just then, it's like the judgments drift away.
Yeah.
Because it's not within you anymore. You're not judging yourself, or you're not allowing these judgments to be here. You've cleared what's in you.
Yeah.
And that people just drift away, or they stop judging you.
Yeah.
They see you for your truth and they accept you. You know, some people can just turn around and then you find they're accepting you. Those that still want to hold on to judgment just drift away.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to you. That's right. So well done for listening and taking it on board.
I took your advice, because
yeah.
for me, when somebody gives me advice, I always sit down, ask myself, why is this person give me this kind of advice? And I sit down and I search within myself. And it's like yesterday I was evaluating so many things in a relationship. And I'm realizing that actually the anger is a big blockage for breakthrough when it comes to everything. It's like I was analyzing things, like when I was going through human blood sacrifice and stuff. I'm analyzing things. I was like, why did this happen? Because there were things that the Satan was doing. So I'm analyzing it. And then I was like, he's letting people screw people like me. He will use me to screw me. Honestly, yeah. I was like, he's so clever. He actually knows how God works. He actually uses people to screw themselves. I was like, this is so bad. And there's part of me that goes so angry because I'm just praying now and connecting with the Holy Spirit. And I'm like analyzing things. I was like, some of the things that I've gone through, some of the things that my friends have gone through, he actually controls them to screw themselves. When you meet a lovely person, it's like in a relationship now, Carol Anne, I don't know about you. If you look at all the coaches, like most of the coaches now, they actually implanting this mindset where when you meet somebody, you got to have a mindset of qualifying the person. You got to take the fun stuff out. Like if I meet you, if you are a man, I'm sitting there, I'm listening to you, I'm ticking. Does Carol Ann qualify for this? I'm no longer natural. Does he qualify the traits? I'm like, but what we don't understand is it's like your topic, the visibility of a person. When you are visible to showing up visible, everything comes natural. If you show up like yourself, like you're looking for a relationship, the man actually will fall in love with this true Carol Ann that is showing up. He'll be like, wow, never met a woman like this person. Actually, you give me like you're so grace, you have so much grace, you have got so much this. But when you have a pen in your head, you're like, need to qualify Carol.
So
Even in a relationship, honestly, Even you're dating somebody and you're thinking, I need to qualify them. They've got to be good. They've got to show up so good. I'm like, seriously? It's
You're not present if you're in your head. You're not present.
yeah.
You're not with that other person,
No.
because actually being visible means that you're actively participating in conversation. You're not in your head thinking, oh, do they tick that box, or are they that, or what do I got to say next to get the answer that I want? You're actually interested in them. You're involved in the conversation, and you're coming from your heart, and you're sharing activities and interests, but you are really interested. You want to know what they've got to say. And if you come from your heart, you'll know if they're right for you, because if you come from that place of connecting heart to heart and going, just feeling into the space of what's truly there with that person, listening to what isn't being said so that you're with them.
Yeah.
And it's the same for the other person. It's a two-way street, because you get to know, well, are they with me? Are they really listening? And you know when someone's not listening, really listening. And when you're connected and you're heart to heart and you're interested in what the other person says and you're both interested, conversation just flows. And the boxes just get ticked. Sort of like it's like a spiritual thing that happens. It does not from the head, it's from the heart, it's from your whole being. And it's just a knowing that happens. And when you can let that happen, that's where you're then, as a visibility is happening. So that's what it really means to be visible. And as we said, it really does matter, because without it, your connection, there is no real connection. And what you do is you build that deeper connection together, because each feel valued and understood. When you feel valued and understood by somebody, you know they've listened to you. They know they want, you know that they are seeing the real you, they're hearing the real you. And it's not just about one-way street, it's a two-way street, you know. So if you find yourself not really listening to the other person, you're being switched off, or you're switching, you know, something's switching you off, or you're not quite feeling it, then you need to be truthful. This is where authenticity comes in. And you go, well, okay, so be honest. I'm not quite hearing what you're saying, or I'm not quite with you, or I don't think this is quite working for me. It's nothing about you, but it's just not working for me. That's where the authenticity comes in. And it's recognizing if there's a fear that creeps in of going, oh, I've got to hang on to this person because I might never find another one. Because they'll feel that. And that's when distrust comes into the relationship. So being open, being honest, and being willing to let go of somebody. If they don't quite feel right or seem right to you, or even hear what you're hearing doesn't really sit with you, be honest. And if you find that you can't be, this is what I was saying earlier, we're here to help you. Reach out so that we can talk with you, share, help to reframe what's going on for you, or help you get in touch with those beliefs that are holding you back. Maybe that something happened in your childhood. There's a belief that got set up, which is then stopping you from trusting or from letting yourself be visible. It may even be a vow. Something happened and you made a vow. I'm never, ever going to show the real me. Well, while that vow is in place, you'll never show the real you. You'll therefore not have a proper connection or deep connection or meaningful, and you'll never be seen because you'll be constantly hiding. So we're here to help you to actually let go of those vows. Let that part of you that set it in the place where it say, okay, great, you did a great job, you made that vow and it's kept me safe till now, and now it doesn't work. It's no longer valid. And I'm like to change it. You know, you can have those conversations. And this is what we can help you with. Have you found yourself having to help people with beliefs like that, Namsa?
I agree with you, Carol Annie. You can't make a vow and thinking that you are not enough or that person is gonna leave you. I always say if they're gonna leave you, they're gonna leave you anyway. They are not meant for you. I used to say that when Satan tortures me, like it would torture me with somebody threaten me with a relationship. I'll put my feet up and I'll be like, you know what? If the relationship is from God, it cannot be taken away from me. So be it. If they're not meant for me, they will go. But then as the time goes by, when I started testifying my feelings and the scriptures, I realized actually he was threatening, he was torturing me with people that were already fake in my life, that he knew they were fake. And the true ones, he would not touch them, but the fake ones, those who are saying they'll come to you and they say, oh, I love you. Oh, I'll be there for you. And he knows their heart that is not genuine. So he will bring them to me like they will switch and they want me to keep chasing. And I'll be like, hang on a minute. There's people that I know that they are genuine is not touching them. But these that are fake, even family members that are not true, he will use them. His agenda is a distraction for you to stop chasing the life where you are meant to be and chase this relationship that is not worth it. And you think yourself you are not enough. But that relationship was never going to work anyway because people are not true. So that's when I realized, even with the guys, like when you're dating somebody, I've seen people like when they're dating somebody, if they're not true, he was, oh, yeah, I'm never gonna meet somebody like this person. And I'm like, you were surviving when you met this person. Why do you feel that way?
Mm.
So I think, Carol Ann, is important, like why you're saying that fear. People need to understand that fear is something that is blocking us. But if we are surviving, anything happens in that relationship, we just need to know that we're gonna be okay. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I that it is. It's having that faith, that belief, and
yeah,
knowing that we're going to be okay.
yeah,
Because that's what actually, when I think back, as I said before, kept me in my marriage. I was fearful of being outside of that marriage and would I survive? You know, I was like, how can I? I'm not going to be able to, and all sorts of things. And yet, actually, now I'm 24 years later. It's as I've been out of that marriage 20 the same length of time as I was in it. You know, I survived. It was tough. There's been tough times, ups and downs, and challenges. I'm still here, and life has just been actually really amazing and interesting and fascinating and quite an adventure, which I've realized is my top value, having an adventure. I just love it, getting curious, going to have an exploration, going, okay, where can this take me now? And okay, Lord, you give me this, give me some answers. How can I get out of
yeah,
this? Let's get curious and find a way. And what actions have I not taken that I really should have taken by now, or that you want me to take? And yeah, it's just having that adventure and put one foot in front of the other and see what happens. And that word failure, if you fail to get what you want, that word fail can actually be looked at first attempt in learning. And it's just a case you take action, you get a result. If it's not the result you want, then you just review the situation. You go, okay, this isn't quite what I want. Ask yourself some questions. Well, what is it that I don't like about this or isn't right for me? Get clear on it and go, well, what action can I now take? And learn from there so you can then move forward, take another action, get some more feedback, because you'll get another result. Every time you take action, you'll get a result. And eventually you'll get what it is you want. And actually you'll find you'll get something way beyond what your dream, you ever thought was possible, if you're persistent and consistent and keep taking action. Whereas if you sit and just keep thinking and just keep thinking and just keep thinking, thoughts only lead to thoughts, and that's it. And there are no results because you haven't taken the action. You have to take the action to get a result to then be able to move forward. And it never, very rarely happens how it plays out in your head anyway. So just look at what the barriers are that are there, that are stopping you from being visible. And there is another barrier I'd like to share about, is actually lack of communication skills or differences in communication styles. So maybe one that hasn't got a great vocabulary or finds it difficult to express yourself or find the words. Or maybe you talk a different language, but even though it's the same language, you know what I mean? It's always, you speak English, but somehow even within English, you can not be talking the same language. And I remember listening to my parents once, and they were getting quite cross with each other. And I could see they both felt like the other wasn't listening or understanding what they were saying. And as I listened to them, I just went, hang on a second, you two. You're both saying the same thing with different words. Because one was using a more visual language and the other was using a more auditory language. The words didn't connect because you weren't talking the same language, even though they're both talking English. So again, notice what are your your communication styles like. Maybe you're somebody who likes to talk things through, but maybe your partner is someone who would just like to sit in silence for a moment, or even just have a hug, because that's a communication in itself. So what are your communication styles? Are they the same? Are they different? And get to know them and want to know them, because that's part of bonding together and saying, well, look, I'm committed to this relationship. And so you acknowledge each other's communication styles by using that style, but also the other person reciprocating in yours. So it's a two-way thing. It's a give and a take. It's not a one-way street. So communication can very often cause barriers to visibility, because again, you're talking and you're talking and you're going, I don't feel like I'm being heard here, because clearly the other person isn't speaking the same language as you. And they've got no interest, or they appear to not have any interest in it. So have you found that, Nomsa, anywhere where people's communication have sort of missed or caused barriers?
I think 100% communication, and the most thing that is a problem is listening. If somebody is communicating, I used to watch myself when I was growing up. My parents used to love talking to me. Like they'll treat me like an adult, but because I like listening, I would just listen. So I'm very, very close to my both parents. And I'll go to my stepdad. My stepdad comes from a rich family, but he does not play games with children. He's like, he lets you know that I didn't get where I am just like that. I had to work for it. So if you want something, you have to work for it. So for me, I used to listen to everything he says. And then we got to be really, really, really close. And then now he dies now. Now he dies, and my mom calls the only person who enjoyed the relationship with him was Nomsa. Everyone is saying Nomsa, Nomsa this. So now I'm starting to explain to them that everything that that man did or said, he was trying to show us that whatever we have here is not going to last. It's for him and his wife, my mom. But if we want that better life, we got to work for it. Sometimes I will go to church. I'm dressed up nicely. My mom, she's a fashion designer. I'm dressed up nicely, and he tells me to go and pick a chicken. So I was like, chicken? And he goes, yeah, I need you to bring the chicken at home. I was like, but you can take it. Why do I have to? So I realized actually it's teaching me a lesson to say, you want to dress up nicely? You want boys to see you? I support you, not them. So you're gonna carry whatever. So I just go and bring it home. But the more he does that, the more I want him to give me more task because he gives me more task, I get rich. So me, I'll be like, but my siblings will be fighting. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. So it's just the part of communication and listening. And then I said to my mom, and my mom realizes straight away that this one, she's the smart one in the family. May I just listen? It's like when I meet somebody, I don't talk much. I listen. And sometimes it's very, very important in a relationship just to listen to your feelings, listen to your needs, and then listen to the other person as well. Because what we do is, Kero Annie, I don't know whether you ever realized when you were in a relationship that we want people to tell us what they want, but we want to ignore our feelings. When we do ignore our feelings, how can we provide good feelings and needs to that person if we ignore our own? First, we need to fulfill our needs, and then share with that person without fear. And it's something that has taken me a long time, guys. And it's Kiro Ann, when I ask her questions, she's like, oh, what do you think was attracting this environment within you? I'm like, what is she talking about? When she's gone, I'm like, what is she talking about? I'm looking for an advice, and she's telling me what is attracting this in me. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna work this in me. This is code in me. And this code in me is amazing, guys, when you work within yourself. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's where the true power is.
Yeah.
It's where you then become the creator and realize you're the creator.
Yeah.
You stand in that creation rather than being a victim because, you know, people are doing this to me. Nothing is being done to you that you don't have agreement with at some level inside. However, and people are going, oh, you know, some really horrible things and that can happen to you. And it's, well, do you like being a victim or do you want to stand as creator? Because where is the power? One, you've given your power away. The other, you've reclaimed it and gone, right, okay, how can I reclaim my power here? What is it that this has come to teach me or that I'm meant to learn? Or, you know, just inquire, sit in that inquiry. Because as you say, Nom said, gives you that power, doesn't it, to then that strength to move forward and keep going. So something that people can do, some strategies for becoming more visible. We've sort of mentioned them. How can you bring that in? So actually, it's a case of encouraging regular, honest communication. as a couple, it's just like, okay, let's give ourselves some time where we can sit down and be honest and open. So actually encourage that sharing on a regular basis about your feelings, about your needs, about your experiences, and practice the listening that Namsa was talking about. So you both have that opportunity to share, and doing it on a regular basis helps you to feel heard. Both of you feel heard and accepted and safe in that relationship. And it just strengthens the bond. And then that love just grows deeper over time. The more you have these regular communication slots, I call them. And it was something I realized that was very much missing from in my marriage. Mainly because I didn't really know how I felt then, and I certainly couldn't find the words if I did, or have the courage to speak it out. And even when I got to sort of know, well, really, we need to sit down, we need to talk this through, rather than me talking with my friend all the time, and we chew it over, and she'd chew over the same thing about her husband, and we'd feel a bit better for a while. But then I really came to realize that actually the person I really needed to speak with was my husband.
Yep.
And I couldn't do it. It's like
The manufacturer.
And so it recognized that, and because that really pushes a wedge and divides, and that wedge just gets wider and wider. So it is something. And actually, once you start facing it and actually going in and knowing what you feel and being able to express it, find words for it, things get actually easier. You can actually stand in that strength of going, well, actually, I don't quite agree with that. And actually, I'm not feeling right here. And this is making me feel uncomfortable. Being able to actually express that is really powerful. And it's not blaming the other person. It's not saying you are making me feel this way. It's saying that I'm feeling this. And what's happening here is making me feel this way. Or what you are saying is making me feel this way. It's not the person. It's the action, or it's what you've done. It's how you've behaved. Rather than saying it's you, because that is not the truth. It's the behavior. It's what they've said. It's the way it's been said. And it's just being able to express that. So if you find difficulty with that, maybe go together. So look, actually say that I'm finding this difficult to do. Can we perhaps go somewhere and get some help on this? And share that together. Again, it brings that bond. So it's about doing things together. But again, it's that sharing of what's being authentic. It's what's going on here for you. Saying that I find it really hard. I can't explain. And I'd really love to, because I'm really committed to this relationship. And it's being able to say those words, and acknowledge that. Because if you're not committed to it, then, well, again, be honest. Are there any other strategies that you think you can think of that would help them to become more visible?
I think for me, number one strategy, forget about the culture. The reason why I'm saying the culture destroys a relationship. Even like in church, you'll see people use religion, become too religious to actually destroy themselves. And that's why Satan is Lucifer to destroy people, because they're too religious and they're taking the culture. You go to church, the Bible tells you to do this. You're like, but my culture tells me to do this. You enter a relationship. I'm dating an English guy. I know my culture. So for me now, that I have, what I have to do now is I already know my culture, but I need to understand his culture, not my culture, because I already know mine. So I need to understand his own culture, how English people, in order for me, for my relationship to work, I need to understand how to communicate with English people. English people, by the way, guys, they like to sweep things under the carpet. They don't like a confrontation. They like to pretend that everything is fine while it's not fine. Like my spouse, you'll be like, honey, I love you. And I'm like, you're so lying right now because you're not happy. Wait, honestly, because he's got two girls, three girls, and we are all expensive, and sometimes we go shopping and then he looks at the bank account, is like he's not so happy, but instead of saying, girls, could you please come down with the bank account, he'll be saying, oh, we're good, we're good. And then you see the man is sweating and you're like, no, we are not so good. Say as it is, say as it is, don't bottle things up. That's how they are. So it's good, guys, to get to know the person you're dating. Because once you get to know the person you're dating, it's easy to actually, when there is a problem, to be like, okay, this is what it is. Instead of saying, you know what, you do this, you do that, like Carol Anna was saying. Because at the end of the day, you end up hurting each other. So you got to, like, I'm dating an English guy. They like to pretend like things are okay. But my spouse is very, very good in communicating his feelings. But there are these things where now financially, like during lockdown, we were living in a huge house where everybody disappeared. They don't have to. We didn't need that big house, but then he's like, nobody was working during lockdown. This online thing, it wasn't big as it is now. So you could see the guy is sweating now, is starting to worry. And I was like, what's going on? And then he find a small house. Now he's not happy. So you just have to get deep into somebody, get to know them very well. And the other thing that is important is communication barriers. Carol Ann has touched that. Past experiences, deal with your past experiences, make sure there are no negativity there, and increase intimacy and bond together. Make sure mentally and physically you're both connected, and judgmental things, put it away. Embrace your imperfection. We all want to think so that when we put fake makeup and everything is going to make us perfect, these guys going to like us, or these guys, when I'm driving a Lamborghini, the women is going to want me. No, I'm perfect as I am. With makeup, without makeup, I'm perfect. That imperfection of your personality, your character, is important to accept and embrace it. I'm not sure, Carol Ann, is there anything else you want to add before we
Just
leave?
briefly say that visibility is not just about being seen. It's about being understood, valued, and cherished. And the more visibility you get in a relationship around that, it's a really powerful way to enhance connection, trust, and intimacy. That comes out of it, out of visibility, rather than the other way around. So, and vulnerability, reframe vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness. Because actually sharing vulnerability can deepen trust and intimacy. So that's what I'd like to leave you with. And if you're not sure how you can do that and you come up against the barriers, get in touch. That's what we're here for. We're not just here to talk about it and give you these tips. We're also here to support you. So reach out.
Yeah, please do reach out, guys, if you want to connect with me and Carol Ann. Very, very important. I'm gonna put my website, the website, hseia.com. I'm gonna put my website, the Nkosi Talk Show's website. It's one website. Um, if you want to connect us through Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency, that's the website there. Please do connect with us. And you can go to the website if you're looking for love. We cover globally, African countries. We cover Brazil, South Africa, Zambia, and Kenya. So sign up if you're looking for love and get in touch. Once I receive your application, uh, there are two options for women: join a free membership or you pay a paid membership. So obviously, I'm going to prioritize my paid clients if you are paid clients. And also there's an assessment that you have to go through. You have to meet the criteria of my clients. And if you want to connect us through Gossip Talk Shows, there's another page on the website that says connect. Once you press that button that says connect, if you want to connect with Carol Ann, you can mention that, may I please connect with Carol Ann? There's other coaches on the website, whoever coach you want. This website is available, I think, this week. Next week is going to be www.hseia.coach. So it's going to change the website. The domain is going to change. So guys, please do get in touch. And you can, if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. And if you're watching us on Facebook, we have a Facebook group, which is Nkosi Talk Shows. The links are on my Facebook personal page. We have another group, Unique Billionaire Mindset. Please do join the group, be part of the family. And what we post everywhere, so you can actually support us with post. But if you need coaching, please, I don't want you guys to become my followers. I love one day to actually, or Carol Annie's followers, I love one day to say, oh, Nomsa, by the way, I watched your video and you know what? I became somebody. And it's actually a beautiful thing when you follow somebody and you adopt that working habit and you become who you want to become. Yeah, instead of becoming a follower, I don't want that, guys, for you. So God bless everyone. I will see you I might not see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow because I've got big things that are happening tomorrow and I will tell you guys tomorrow. So I think tomorrow is Carol Ann and Shireen, and
Shireen and Amanda.
Shireen and Amanda, but if I have time to pop in, I might pop in, or I might as well take some time off tomorrow. But it's a big day for my family tomorrow, so I'm not going to be available. But I'll update you what I'm doing on Facebook, guys. I like to do things after, and then I'll first and then update you. So I'll update you what I'm doing. So God bless and live with grace. And if you're in a relationship, love with grace, unconditional love. I'll see you tomorrow.